Hello YouTube, this is Tequila from Hamburg. I just wanted to show you how capable the RTX 3080 non-TI laptop GPU is out of the box. I'm using this GPU on my laptop. It's an XMG Neo 17 early 2021 model with a 5900 HX CPU, and we will do two test runs. The first is out of the box with the full power limit of 165 watt, and the second run will be my settings for gaming when I tune the RTX 3080 laptop with Afterburner, and this is more or less a bit of an undervolting. I add 150 megahertz for the GPU and 1000 megahertz on the storage bus. So let's just start. I do not include the demo. Let's just get right to it. And now we have the TimeSpy run for the 3080 laptop out of the box in the Neo 17 from early 2021 non-TI version with 165 watts. Of course, as the demo is not included, we have no sound in the normal TimeSpy graphics tests 1 and 2. So what you will hear are just the fans from the Neo 17 and of my cooling pad, which I use together with my Neo 17 to help to reduce the temperatures furthermore. Of course, the Neo 17 is set to overboost mode just as an additional information, so the laptop runs on full power. after the two graphics tests, now the CPU tests is in progress. And when this is finished, we will get the results shortly. So as you can see, we have a CPU score of 10,290 and a graphics score of 12,536 points ish. That varies from run to run a bit. As you can see here, let's check the temperatures. The temperatures of the GPU. Here we have 74.2 degrees at the highest, and in graphics test one 69 degrees, so quite calm. And the CPU is around temperature max is around 86 degrees, so quite a good score for such an mobile GPU. And now what we will do is we will start Afterburner, and we will increase the core clock of the GPU by 140 megahertz and the memory clock by 1000 megahertz. For bench testing, you can go higher with the core clock up to 190 megahertz. Additionally, but this is not stable in games. My experience is that it's up to 140 megahertz plus is stable in games on my machine. There's a bit of silicon lottery, as you might expect, but I think the graphics card here is quite okay, and I can add 140 megahertz on the core clock and 1000 megahertz on the memory clock. As maybe you can see here, 8000 megahertz memory clock. We can close this. We will go back to the TimeSpy, and now we will run this test again with a slightly tuned GPU RTX 3080 non-TI version on the Neo 17 with the 5900HX CPU from AMD. What I also like to mention is that on the XMG machines, you have the possibility to tune this laptop to overclock it, more or less. What you can do is you can set the power limits and in the control center, and this is what I have done. I have maxed out every slider I can in the control center from XMG. As another additional information, of course, I turned the iGPU, the GPU on the 5900HX, I turned this off. The XMG offers a max switch, and to get the most out of the dedicated GPU, of course you need to turn off the iGPU. And this is what I've done to this machine. Of course as well to get the maximum performance out of this machine. I will not do a third run with a 190 megahertz additional core clock because I think this is not practical. I can run this on this machine, but the 190 megahertz additional core clock is not practical because the games are not running stable. With 140 megahertz additional core clock, all my games run stable, from Microsoft Flight Simulator to Raft, whatever you want. So, and here are the results. We have a graphics score of 13,154 and a CPU score of 10,111. And this is, I think, a nice result and a nice performance boost which you can get for free just using the free tool Afterburner. And more or less, of course you have to figure out what works with your machine. And so we have a total score of 12,585. And these results vary a bit from time to time. My top score was a graphics score of 13,596, I think. But due to the Windows updates and driver updates and so ever, these graphics score vary a bit, and I think this doesn't matter too much. But with a graphics score of 13,154 points, we are near the performance of a desktop 3070, 3070 Founders Edition, which is not tuned at all. So not that bad for a mobile machine. And maybe we can read out the temperatures as well. Highest temperature on the CPU was here 87 degrees, and on the GPU 76 on graphics test 2, and 72, nearly 73 on graphics test 1. So quite okay from the temperatures. What I should mention is that I use liquid metal on the CPU, not on the GPU, but on the CPU. Otherwise, you would have seen a thermal throttling in the CPU tests. Liquid metal works very good in this machine with the CPU and helps to reduce the temperatures, I think 10 to 15 degrees at least. But this is not for the faint at heart. It's quite dangerous, so I wouldn't recommend you to do this. I did it because I wanted to, but that's not the point of this video. The video is just to show you how capable the RTX 3080 mobile non-TI version is. So thanks for watching, and yeah, maybe I'd like to hear your comments down below, and maybe you want to give me a thumb up or whatever you like. Thank you, and bye bye. See you next time.